blame, you net it.
I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then I'm LP. How to get myself up back before the bull run. How to take some me, should stick it in the bullroom. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then I'm LP. How to get myself up back before the bull run. How to take some me, should stick it in the bullroom. E-pop got me waiting 3 more hours. Stacking all these years higher than a tower. Having all these nodes feel like superpowers. Investing all this bread, never been a coward. Call me Mr. Bond, money in the vault. I stay in the front, feeling like the goal. Don't worry about the haters, not the detonator. I'm killing every market, call me Terminator. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then I'm LP. How to get myself up back before the bull run. Tell me should stick it in the board. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then I'm LP. How to get myself up back before the bull run. How to take some me should stick it in the board.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to our live AMA and EMP.Money. My name is AJ. I am the team lead here. As usual, I'm joined by my co-host with the most, LA, how are you today?
I am awesome. Happy to be here with all of you guys and to rock another AMA all together.
Yes, 100%. I know I'm going to try not to rush through today. We have a lot to share. We've been busy. I mean, we've been so productive behind the scenes. And LA, I'll let you comment on that as we move forward here. But yeah, we have a meeting after this AMA too. So I can't go much more than an hour, but we'll try to get everything in that we can. So glad to have everybody back. And yeah, I mean, we're just going to jump right in. Some updates today, and then as usual, we'll have our Q&A at the very end. So if there are questions, please feel free to type them in the live chat or in any of our socials, and we can get to them either today or by the next AMA. We also have a dedicated channel in our Discord for specific AMA questions to make sure you don't get missed. All right. As well as the housekeeping, I'm a horrible YouTuber, but please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and this video specifically. That will help get our engagement higher and get us in front of other people. So, all right, we're going to just, again, kick it right off here. So, the first thing we're going to talk about today is L1 DEX. We had some really awesome announcements last week. We've been busy behind the scenes. We've had multiple meetings with L1X themselves, their core development team, as well as Jake from Dex Finance. They're handling, again, most of the development work, and we're handling most of the marketing, partnerships, community management, that side of things. So there's a killer AMA that we have both on the L1X Discord and our own YouTube channel. So go back and look for the L1X, L1 Dex AMA for a bunch of updates. And yeah, again, lots of meetings in the works. We're working on a pitch deck for other partnerships, and we're also working on a white paper for how the DEX will operate itself. I know a lot of you have been interested in the actual emission schedule, how the rewards are going to work for L1X as the DEX token, the reward token of the DEX. So hopefully all that will be in the white paper. Again, it'll probably be more of a light paper to begin with, but some of those questions will be answered right off the bat. So, and again, I know a lot of you have been asking about the public sale and if we're going to be able to facilitate some of that on behalf of EMP and L1X. And the answer is Most likely, but we're not really able to commit yet. So give us a few more weeks. That sale is not scheduled to go live until July anyway. But we're hoping that we'll be able to do the same arrangement that we had for the private sale, and I think we're gonna get there. So again, don't want to drop too much alpha, but stay tuned for that. So all right, LA, anything? Again, you were part of all those meetings, some really bullish things. Obviously, we can only say about, 10% of what's in the works, but nonetheless, we're making major headway, right?
Yeah, I mean, last week was literally the week of bullish meetings on all fronts. I feel like we were on the phone constantly, just with all these moving parts for the different parts of the projects that we're working on. And it was very exciting with all the advancement that we were able to make in 1 week. So L1 Dex was a big part of that. We spoke with the L1X team a lot last week, as well as the Dex Finance team getting ahead on it. So yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So again, we're a multi-pronged approach. The devs are deving, and we are making headway as well as a team with all the other loose ends. So all right, awesome. Up next is the secret PulseChain project. I swear we can't win. I know some people were upset that we alluded to a launch sooner than later. Um, but again, I can't reiterate this enough. Until we announce a date, nothing is set in stone. And we as a protocol, we try not to just say, surprise, here's something we've been working on and it goes live in an hour, like there has to be some hype and some ramp up to that. Now, obviously with Fusion, we're talking months of lead up, which again we definitely weren't anticipating. But with the Secret Pulse Chain project, it's only been about 2 weeks, and we're again it could be any minute now. So that's not bullshit. It's just we don't want to give the particulars until everything is tested and ready to roll. So I promise all of you that you will be very happy with that. So again, not only another potential revenue stream for EMP, but also a potential earning uh, path for all of you. So, all right, just bear with us again. If I have to do a impromptu live AMA, we'll jump on. But literally everything is done. We're just coding or I'm sorry, testing the final things before we go live, and we think it's a great product market fit for what's happening over on PulseChain, and it will provide the infrastructure to Impulse. So this will be under the Impulse umbrella and the EMP mothership. But yeah, really exciting stuff coming. And once we launch it, all of you will go, wow, yeah, this was well worth the wait. So, all right, anything else about that project, LA? Again, without giving away too much alpha, I know the people want some updates, but we're almost there. So,
Make sure you're following all of the socials. I'll go ahead and post them into the YouTube chat again right now. And I'm sure we'll be back on L1X Discord AMA soon. When we are, we'll make sure to announce it in our groups.
cool. All right, awesome. All right, now on to power ups. So, again, we have been getting some issues. Let me kind of just read through this and then I'll elaborate a little bit more. But the issue has been with multi-chain, and this is a further, a proof of concept for L1X. Multi-chain is a bridge, and again, they're having major issues. So bridging can be very, risky, and does not always work. You have to pray that things happen, the way they're supposed to based on code, and that once your, funds are sent, that they show up on the other side. And unfortunately, multi-chain's been having a ton of issues with their consensus mechanism and having the funds show up on the other side. So we do use multi-chain to do that, bridge from BNB to ETH network. Again, power-ups reward all of you that own them by being diversified into the EMP protocol. So you're able to earn straight Ethereum with the power-up NFTs purely passively. But we do have to bridge funds from BNB to ETH to pay them out. Now, that being said, nobody is losing funds. So this usually happens on a 24-hour cycle. But because of the issues with multi-chain, it's been 2 to 3 days so that we can go through the backup log. But again, even though they're delayed, you're not losing out on rewards. You're still getting everything that you should be. It's just not happening every 24 hours. So we are very well aware of this, and we're literally in contact with the multi-chain dev team every day. Uh, but they clear all the back orders, but unfortunately, there's still that bottleneck. So now we're trying to figure out, how we can fix that bottleneck. And in a worst case scenario, we'll just use a different bridge. But everything is set up through a smart contract. So nobody is, again, managing anybody's funds, or everything is done through decentralized code. So if we did update that, it may be a little bit more complicated than it sounds. So, but again, bear with us. Power-ups have been paying amazingly, and there really isn't any power-ups on the market because everybody that has them loves them. So, LA, anything you want to add to that? I know you and Jake were speaking about that more directly than him and I. So, yeah, go ahead.
You covered all the bases. The key thing to reiterate is that we're literally in contact with their support team every single day right now. It's not something that we're just sweeping under the rug. We are actively on it every single day, making sure that it gets dealt with, and you will not in any way lose any of your rewards. So
Perfect. All right. Yep. And again, hopefully, that diversification into EMP through those power ups, that will have the exposure to fusion as well. So, power ups should be continuing to roll on, if not maybe even get a little more enticing as fusion is ready and live and rewards are flowing and EMP is going up and eShare is going up. So again, power ups are a great move, and we have discussed possibly releasing another round of power ups. Maybe even somehow integrating them more directly into Fusion itself. So stay tuned to that as well. But that's another great thing about Fusion is once you're set up, you are able to kind of set it and forget it. Obviously we say invest in your investment, but it's something you can check on once a week or once every other week, and not every day. So again, we'll have some updates on that as Fusion is live. All right, cool. All right, the next update is Level X. So again, this is the now defunct protocol. We will be removing the cultivator as well. We have a plan for that. For those of you that may were affected by the exploit, we don't want to release too much information on that, but I would say if you are in cultivator, just continue to compound or claim, and we'll have an announcement about that when we're ready and we're closer to sacrifice. But if you were in cultivator, you will be taken care of to the best of our ability, and that will be going away. And that being said, Level X, was also part of that ecosystem. We updated or we announced that we may be offering a compensation plan for those that lost. That's not a guarantee. It definitely won't be 100%. It may not even be 50%. It may be, 10%. So we just have to go through all the numbers and see what there is to do. Any compensation plan would be coming from me personally. It wouldn't be diluting any EMP holders or further diluting the Fusion ownership as well. But it will be in a way that they won't be able to just dump EMP on our head. So that being said, LA, you want to just go over real fast the form? We are now closed it off and we're going through it. But yeah, go ahead.
Yep. So the form is now closed. We gave everyone a little longer than 2 weeks to submit it. Anyone who submitted it properly and actually followed the very simple instructions on the page and did what was asked of them, we will go through your transactions and verify everything. That is going to take us a little bit of time to do because there was over 60 people who submitted. A heads up, I did give everyone a warning on the AMAs quite a few times so that they could resubmit if they thought they were one of the ones that didn't fill out the forms correctly. But there were 6 people that didn't submit properly and just answered the questions how they felt like answering them, except instead of what was actually asked on the form. And those ones, unfortunately, we're not going to be searching through your entire transaction history and spending hours down a rabbit hole trying to find the answers for you. We just don't have time to do that with everything that we're building behind the scenes to bring this protocol where we all want to see it go. But for those of you who filled out the form correctly, we're going to be on it and verifying everything. And then when we have all the information collected and we know what we're able to offer, then we'll make an announcement to everyone.
Perfect. Yep, absolutely, LA. And again, we're doing everything in our power to make it right. You know, obviously, we didn't think it would go down like this. We did all the due diligence we could. You know, in hindsight, was there maybe some better things that we could have done? Absolutely. But, you know, again, we're trying to do this out of the goodness of our heart and moving forward with other opportunities within the EMP ecosystem and partnerships that, you know, are much more vetted than. And I don't even want to say that. I mean, we vetted Ghost the best that we could. We had all the info, but unfortunately, it just the recourse is not there. So anyway, enough some bummer things to talk about. One thing I did want to address though that kind of relates to this. So we had a few comments that said, you know, if you're giving a compensation plan to level X, what about Detonator and Reactor? So I just want to go over this real quick. So the whole point of Fusion, and again, I know a lot of you that were heavily in Detonator and Reactor are feeling the pain right now because the pool balance is going down. But the whole point of Fusion and the way that we have it integrated into Detonator and Reactor and all DAAS products is that we are trying to facilitate a recovery in those pools. And those pools, you know, if and when they can recover, your daily burst will go back up, and everybody that has been compounding or anybody that's been in positions for a while should start seeing those ROIs going up as well, or down rather, in terms of time it will take to ROI. And we're stopping the bleeding. So we have to do this because, again, everything is determined on the pool balance. Now, the other option was to just let Detonator, Reactor, and all those products run their course, you know, but that would have left a lot of people, you know, really in a bad position, because once the pool balance is drained, that's it. Like until there's a new, you know, volume, then there is no rewards to pay because it's a non-inflationary model. You know, other clones of this are rewarding you in a deflationary, I'm sorry, in an inflationary token, and that can be very, you know, it can be a good thing for the pool balance in the short term, but it's a horrible thing for the price long term. So, and again, the whole idea of Fusion is that we're getting EMP, we're getting eShare to recover in price, and as EMP and eShare become more valuable, you are getting much more in terms of dollar value out of Detonator and Reactor. And you know, if all of you are still pissed or you know feel like you know we changed the rules or whatever your personal opinion is on Detonator Reactor, once Fusion is out, now this won't be part of the MVP, so definitely you're gonna have to kind of bear with us. But we do plan on allowing you to exit your position from Detonator and Reactor. It will be a substantial haircut, But if you want to get out, then that will be an option. And furthermore, the one last thing I want to say is everybody says, well, now they're locked into Fusion. Well, that's not necessarily true at all. The way it will work is that your rewards, rather than being able to claim them directly and then unpair the LP and sell, you will get credit to your microgrid. So again, rather than having that be sell pressure on the market, you are building that same dollar value in the microgrid, and you can choose to sell that microgrid. So nobody is locked up in anything. It may take you, a little bit longer. And when I say a little bit, maybe a day or two uh, in that process because you have to claim and then it has to go to your microgrid. But overall, there really isn't more of a delay. And you can still sell your microgrid to other people, and especially below market value, if you want to get out quick. I know a lot of people will be buying microgrids, including the treasury, at discounted prices for those that don't want to stick with, EMP and what we've built. So, and again, I'm just trying to give as much info as I can. I understand everybody has their own, personal situation. We have really tried to get away from sell shaming anybody, but we have to have a model where selling doesn't hurt other people in the protocol. And that is why we've been so passionate about, don't sell EMP. And with Fusion, we don't ever have to worry about that ever again. So, all right, I know that was a kind of a sidetrack, LA, but I wanted to address a few things. Was there anything on that you want to add based on feedback or anything you want to clarify?
No, I think that was perfect.
All right, awesome. So, and yeah, that goes right into, the NFTs as well. So, um, Detonator Defenders, there's a very, very slim floor on those, I think. And they're holding up really well. I think the floor price is still about 1 BNB. Um, and there's not a lot left. I think on NF Trade there's only like three available. There's a few more on Alpha shares. The Sentinel Squadron, uh, there has been a lot of uh, selling on those, both from EMP and the MDB community. But this could be a great way. Again, this is not financial advice. Anybody, participate at your own risk. But if you believe that the pool balances on Detonator and Reactor will recover, those NFTs could be very valuable, especially getting them, at a third of what the mint price was for Sentinel Squadron in particular. So again, all of it is speculative. We don't have the answers to tell you. It's everybody's individual decision. But I'm just saying, don't sleep on, different parts of the protocol. So again, LA, anything you want to add to that?
No, you're good.
All right, cool. All right, so Fusion, yeah, I mean, we had a hell of a week last week. We made more headway last week than I would say we've made from the beginning, and not necessarily from a coding perspective, but just the feeling of everybody being on the same page and really, going into the home stretch of getting this thing launched. So, LA, I know you and I were really pumped. We had about a 2.5 hour developer meeting where we literally went over the white paper line by line. And LA, some alpha, we have a white paper update coming, right? So go ahead.
Yes, it was such a good meeting. And AJ and I had a call after the meeting because
Yeah.
we were just like celebrating. We were like, we literally had all of the developers' undivided attention for 2.5 hours straight. This was awesome. It was such a good meeting. We went line by line and just nailed into everything. And the new white paper is coming very soon. We're going to take what we went over on that meeting and start working on a new finalized copy to put out into the world.
Totally.
So that's going to be very exciting for everyone, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely, LA. And we got a major update again while we were going through that old white paper line by line. We literally got to hear where the dev team was on, everything that's still outstanding, as well as an update on all the final testing. So again, they're closer than ever. I know we keep saying that. It's a very arduous process, but I've never been more confident than I was after that meeting with everybody. It felt really good. Everybody's on the same page. And you have to understand, too, I mean, again, this is not an excuse by any means, but as we are building out Fusion, there may be something that the devs stumble upon that makes Fusion even more powerful. And we did this twice now. Once was with the cash out batteries. Again, back to my point earlier, we didn't want anybody to be locked into Fusion that didn't want to be. So we had to make the cash out batteries part of the MVP, the minimal viable product. So, which means the launching of Fusion. Now, that again required a lot more coding than we were anticipating because you have to make those cash out batteries work with everything. We had originally thought, we would put the cash out batteries later on, but that would lock everybody up. So that was a major change. And then there was a few more, and again, I hate to call them bugs because it wasn't something that was exploitable. It's just that this is a new contract from the ground up. We're not forking any other code. So there was some uh, issues that we found during the first round of testing that had to go back and redo it. And for me, that's really a vote of confidence in Fusion because we're not just saying, oh well, we're already a bit behind. The community is getting impatient. Let's just launch it anyway. And now 2 or 3 months down the road, we have a massive exploit, and now we're all screwed. So we would never put ourselves in that position. And if that means we're a little bit more delayed, unfortunately, that's just the way it is. So, again, LA, anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean, it couldn't be more true. It has to be the right launch with the product that is 100% ready and good to go, because we will 100% get way more flack if we release a product that's not ready and it's all buggy and there's stuff going wrong, and 24 hours a day we're getting pings about this is going wrong, that's going wrong, why is this happening, why is that happening, oh my gosh, like I mean, I could only see what a disaster it would be. So
Totally.
there's just no way we could let that happen. So it has to be all tested and retested, and it has to be perfect. So
Yeah, no doubt, and it will be. I mean, with code, obviously there's some growing pains. I'm sure we're gonna have some UI issues, as it always happens that way, especially when we're redoing the entire front end of the website. Because remember, not only are we launching Fusion, but we're also launching basically a brand new website and a whole new branding around EMP. But yeah, I mean, nothing will be fundamentally broken in the contracts. And again, this is a work in progress. I mean, once we're finally out with the sacrifice, and then we're live with Fusion, we're going to be adding brand new batteries, brand new things to the marketplace, brand new NFTs, brand new launchpad opportunities. I mean, it's just not like we're going to launch Fusion and then that's it. The protocol just uh, lives in the wild. I mean, we're going to continually add new features and new benefits as we go. So, and then again, in terms of economics, it's much less or much more hands off moving forward. But in terms of utility, we're always going to be adding more and more utility. So, all right, awesome. Man, that was great. We were about half an hour in. That was all the major points, but I know we probably have some questions. And again, if you have a question
you.
please feel free to type it in the chat as well. So, all right, go ahead, LA.
Okay, so question number 1 is, AJ said that if we have used more than one wallet for EMP.Money, they will be merged for fusion. The wallet that I originally used was compromised, so I have been transferring the LP generated by the detonator to the farm to a second wallet. Will it be possible to choose this second wallet for my fusion microgrid?
Yes, so this is a really good question, and it's a bit of an update in that meeting that we were discussing. So the original plan in terms of development was that when you buy another NFT or another microgrid off the marketplace, that will automatically merge your existing microgrid with that new one. Now, in terms of development, because your batteries are actually linked to your microgrid, that really won't be the case now. And as a user or wallet, any overall wallet like the MetaMask wallet itself, not speaking about your in-game wallet, um, uh, you're still only able to have one overall microgrid, but that microgrid may be composed of multiple other microgrids. So this is a bit of an update. It will be in the new white paper. And this could be good too because it may, again, in this situation, where a wallet gets compromised or, maybe you want to send part of your microgrid to a friend or family member, this makes it a lot easier to do, over the long run. So does that help answer, LA? I know that was a big change that we discussed in the last meeting. So.
Yes, one of the I believe we discussed that if they're taking on a second full microgrid, they will not merge. But if they are taking on a portion of a new microgrid, they will merge.
Yeah, that sounds right. Again, we have a whole list of notes, and it will be in the updated white paper on how that will actually work. Um, and again, we'll make sure that everybody is well aware of how it works. And there's also a great function too, that we're gonna make it to where if you are gonna break up your microgrid, you have to go through our marketplace. So basically whitelisting any interaction with our own marketplace. And this means that we get to collect the fees on that. Again, there'll be a 3% fee on all marketplace transactions, including breaking up your microgrid. And so this is amazing because, we're not giving our fees to, OpenSea or other NFT marketplaces. So everything stays in-house. It drives more volume to the marketplace, and all those fees go right back to you. Again, as a protocol, we don't take the fees. Those go to Fusion itself as a revenue stream for rewards. So, yeah, really, really bullish things. And there's some other updates in how the microgrid, breaking up the microgrid will work. But I'll save that for maybe the Thursday AMA, because that's really exciting too, on how you'll be able to do it. So if you have $100,000 microgrid, obviously, it might be hard to find a buyer at $100,000, but maybe you break it up into 10,000 dollars or 100, $1,000 microgrids, and now you can sell a portion without having to impact your whole position. So, yeah, really a lot of headway with that.
Yeah, and that's so bullish because I think that was definitely a concern of some of the larger players, and now that is no longer needing to be a concern.
Totally. And a lot of that was from you guys. I mean, we had a lot of questions over the last few weeks about transferring microgrids, what that will look like. So again, we're listening. We go back to the dev team. Jake is super involved. If he doesn't go on the AMAs, he'll at least listen to them, as well as Shane, who's the project manager for the other devs. But yeah, I mean, we reiterate to them what the community wants, and then they're able to implement that. So again, shout out to all of you for giving us constructive criticism, and not, negativity for sure.
Absolutely. Yes. So here's another question for you. What are the changes planned for V3, and how will these changes help Detonator and those who are in it? I realize this has mostly been talked about already, but how about an update?
Yes, so I should have mentioned this with my Detonator and Reactor rant earlier in the show, but yeah, I mean, everything I said earlier doesn't even account for the V3 changes. So once Fusion is live, the next priority is updating all of the Detonator and Reactor code, and this will have a much better claiming structure. So if you claim uh, once or twice a week, as we've always suggested, the 6-1 or 5-2 strategy, where you're claiming once or twice and you're compounding the rest, you will be unaffected by any of the changes. There are some variations in the rewards and the lottery, but other than that, you're good to go. Now, if you start claiming more than that twice a week threshold, you will progressively get hit with larger and larger fees. So, if you're claiming 7 days a week, then you're going to get hit with a massive amount of penalty um, in terms of fees. Now, the fees that are collected from that, they don't, again, go to any of us. They go directly back into the reward pool of the contract. So again, this is super bullish because the whole idea is that not now we're stopping the bleeding with the fusion updates, and now we can focus on getting more fees, more LP in the reward pool over time, and most importantly, rewarding those of you that are good actors trying to foster the health of the contract, rather than just getting in and claiming the whole time. So yeah, all that's really good, and we had some VIPs that were really instrumental in helping us make those changes, and I would love to have them on to kind of again go over their thought process along with us when we're ready for that. So LA, again, anything you want to elaborate on? Did I answer their question, you think? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The key is that it really rewards those who have a long-term mindset and protects the sustainability of the contract.
Yep, 100%. Sorry. Again, I talk when I'm muted, and what last AMA you said I was talking and I wasn't muted, so so yeah, never a dull moment.
Yeah. So will Fusion also support the DAAS contracts? What can and will be done to support them or attract more investment?
Yeah, so once Fusion is up and live, we'll have the discretion of how we, have treasury funds or, revenue coming in to apply that to whatever needs the most help. So again, in the beginning, PEG is number one priority. So all the, additional revenue and fees and everything else will go towards supporting PEG. But once PEG is recovered, again, not if, but when PEG is recovered, we have a lot more flexibility. I know, we've discussed supporting eShare, buying and burning eShare. We've discussed, supporting the DAAS contracts, maybe some back into nodes, or up EMP. So again, we don't have any specific, plans for that. But obviously, any additional revenue will be used to, again, and not only reward everybody in Fusion. I think APRs are going to be very healthy, but also help support the contracts. And again, a lot of it is based on that pool balance. So I think once the pool balance starts growing again, and people have a renewed confidence in those contracts, we may not have to supplement them. I mean, I think that a lot of the economics are already in place, especially after V3, that it will kind of take care of itself. But yeah, those are just some thoughts. We don't have anything concrete in terms of what we would do, but yeah.
All right. This question is very difficult for us to actually answer, but I'm going to throw it at you for you to try. I understand it is hard to predict the future and NFA. If we need to sacrifice into Fusion, what would a reasonable expectation be to ROI on assets sacrificed, as in assets that can be sold?
Yeah, so again, there is so many variables involved in that that it's nearly impossible to say. But what I can say is the following. So the APR that you're seeing right now is based on the emissions of the farm and the price of eShare. So theoretically, if there is a higher eShare price, all of the eShare emissions are now going to Fusion. So again, just like the farms work, Fusion works the same exact way for providing the LP. Well, you're providing single asset EMP, or whatever you end up sacrificing, but everything is calculated on single asset EMP. And so that means that whatever the APRs right now are, um, that would be like the bare minimum APR that you would get in Fusion. Now, the other factor is all of the revenue streams. So, we've talked about the treasury in an opportunity that we opened up to some of our VIPs. That's been going extremely well. We talked about the L1 Dex that's been doing extremely well, or that will do extremely well. Hopefully, even just on minimum projections. And that could literally, all of those combined, could literally be hundreds of thousands of dollars a day. And if those rewards are going into Fusion, the APR could be incredible. I mean, again, I'm not here to be a moon boy or overpromise, but it's just purely dependent on, what that real revenue will produce. Now, the other thing is that you can sell your microgrid. So, you could also experience price appreciation on the microgrid itself. And again, we have a long discussion. I tried to explain it in our last AMA a little bit, but theoretically, your microgrid will also appreciate in value as EMP goes up. Now, again, the reason that happens, because it's really difficult to actually encapsulate EMP in a microgrid, or in an NFT rather. The tech is just not there yet. But you will never be able, as EMP goes up in value, with PEG and with ETH going up in value overall, you will never be able to buy the same position in Fusion for a lesser value. So therefore, your microgrid will go up in value because it represents your ownership in the protocol at a certain ratio. So we're going to try to do our best to explain that. In the white paper, we had, again, a long talk with the devs because originally we had wanted to do our pricing of the microgrids and EMP, but that opens up a ton of potential exploits and manipulation. If somebody buys a bunch of EMP off the market, then that makes all the microgrids more expensive. So as of right now, the plan is to just do all the math in a USD value. So that will make it a lot more clean, but you still have indirect exposure to EMP and ETH, and that's fundamentally why PEG is still really important as Fusion continues on into the future. So again, that'll be a really long discussion in a future AMA. and it will be in the white paper. But yeah, those are all the plans going on. So again, as you can see, it gets really complicated really fast. And this is just one, a very small part of a fusion overall. So there's so many balls in the air for sure. But all right, yeah. Did that answer, Ella?
Yeah, I think you definitely did. I mean, you did a great job answering a question that's very difficult for us to answer at this
For
point
sure.
because we can't predict the future. I am just refreshing my page to get the most recent questions at the bottom.
Yep, no worries.
And
I see one that's coming through while you do that. Are we gonna need Pulse and PulseX for the secret project? So, the answer is yes. If you have Pulse and PulseX already, then you're good to go. If you don't, there also may be a solution within the secret project. So, I'll leave it at that for those of you that are a little more DeFi savvy. You may be able to figure it out. But yeah, you will need you again need uh a strong word. Do you need Pulse and Pulse X to actually get involved? No. Will you want to have Pulse and Pulse X to be involved? Yes. So the only thing you absolutely will need is some Pulse for the gas transactions. But again, if you don't have Pulse or Pulse X, don't panic. We'll have a solution for all of you when we're ready to announce that. But we're getting really close. Again, I can't be more excited for the secret project too.
ooh, here's a fun one, AJ.
All right,
Where do
a
you where do
curveball. Oh,
you
let's go.
see where do you see EMP in 2 years' time?
Man, that is a great question. Holy cow. Uh, oh, I gotta be careful what I say, especially on a recording. But I'd say in a much, much better position than it is today. I mean, we not only, I think in 2 years from now, we see a five, maybe even a six-figure ETH, definitely a five-figure ETH, and that will directly impact the treasury, the price of EMP, assuming that we're able to maintain peg, which we have everything in store to do so. So that alone could be a 5 or 10x on your current positions, within the protocol. And yeah, I mean, the sky is the limit. I think the whole point of Fusion uh, was to have, an even more sustainable protocol moving forward. And so, that's what will happen. And my God, in 2 years, we'll be well into the next bull run, and maybe even to the next cycle. Maybe winding down by then a little bit. But we can see all-time highs on literally every asset. And we didn't even really talk about the overall market conditions, but things are looking incredibly promising. I mean, the ETF spot ETF was approved. That could be the gateway to literally trillions of dollars entering, crypto. And do I think there'll be some short-term, downtrend? Absolutely. I think, we may have just hit a local all-time high, but I think we could be in for some shorts, and maybe even back down to 20K. I don't think we're gonna go lower than 15, which was the local low. But I mean, by October, I think we could easily see altcoins and BTC absolutely ripping. So yeah, and again, all that is my personal opinion. I'm not a good trader or market TA analysis guy, but yeah, just based on being here. I looked at my old Discord, and it's been 7 years in crypto. Man, it feels like an eternity since I got involved. So, but it's about being in the market. The longer you're in the market, the more your bags grow and the value of your holdings grow over time. So, yeah, 2 years is a long. That's an eternity in crypto, but I could not be more positive for what the future holds. So What about you, LA? I want to ask you that question. Where do you think EMP will be in 2 years?
Man, I just get so excited about it. Like I talk about it. I talk about it everywhere I go. I just found myself out yesterday talking about it to random strangers. Trying to explain to them about DeFi and what it is and how crypto's the future. But yeah, I'm just so excited to see where this is going. And when we have these meetings with the L1X team and we, meet as a team for L1 decks and we start to um, develop these things that I really believe are going to change the whole landscape of crypto, and to know that those things are going to be flowing revenue streams directly into EMP to help our beautiful little project grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And just to see all of these moving pieces that we're building and to be able to visualize in my head how they'll all come together into one beautiful puzzle that's fully built. It's just, it makes me very pumped up. And I just wish that all of you could already see everything that we're seeing. I know it really sucks to wait, but I see a very bright future. And I try to tone down that excitement sometimes because I don't ever want it to um, make people take actions that aren't devised from their own emotions or thoughts. I don't want to be just a hype woman. I want people to, see the value here themselves. But yeah, no, I'm here for the long haul, and I'm excited every minute of it. So yeah.
Amazing, LA. Yes, again, both of us are cut from the same cloth. I love that you're proselytizing crypto in public now. Oh man, that is hilarious. I have a vision in my head of you telling everybody about EMP and crypto as a whole. But yeah, I think that's a great question to end on. Again, we got about 4 or 5 more minutes before I have to be in this other meeting. So yeah, again, I think that was a
There's
great.
one more.
Good, yeah, all right,
There's
one
one more
more. All
question.
right,
I
go ahead,
think you
Elliot.
could
Yeah,
answer.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
There's one more. You could answer it super fast. So, um, my journey just wants to know. So the proceeds from an income source like YouTube has to go to a tax ID. Who's paying the taxes on it?
Yeah, great question. So, the answer is me. Don't ever not pay your taxes. So, the YouTube channel is set up under my corporate account, and then I buy EMP as a donation back to the protocol. So, yeah, everybody is getting their cut. Again, we obviously encourage all of you to pay your respective taxes. We're not here to cheat the man. We are here to provide financial freedom. And I think that, crypto is a game changer in terms of what I call the financial equalizer. But yeah, I mean, don't do anything shady. Don't try to hide your crypto earnings. I mean, we're all here for the long run, and it truly is a new financial sector. So, give don't give the all the Congress people and the representatives any more ammo of why crypto is shady. We're here to be productive members of society and pay our dues. I think maybe our dues might be a little bit higher than we all would like, but that's another conversation. But yeah, so all that's accounted for.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's the perfect place to wrap things up.
All right, awesome. Well, again, thank you all for being here. Another very productive hour AMA, and hopefully we can come to you with a live update on the secret project this week, or if not, we will be there for the Thursday AMA. Again, every Monday and Thursday at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Uh, we come to you with updates. So, all right, and Bertie and Abel are saying bye as well. So that's my cue to head off. So, all right, appreciate all of you. LA, any final words?
Thanks for coming, everyone, and giving us your time. We love you all, and we will see you on Thursday.
All right, there you go, everybody. Good night. Good day. We'll see you on Thursday. Bye bye.